And welcome to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know that the COTA observation tower, in accordance to the Capitol and the Statue of Liberty, is actually in between those two? The Capitol is 288 feet tall. Secondly, the COTA observation tower is 251 feet tall, and the Statue of Liberty is 151 feet tall. So anyways, guys, welcome to the Nasboys podcast. I'm your host, Mike, aka Mike Bob Fan 101, with my good friend and co-host Cam, aka Noticed_Cam.
Howdy, y'all.
So let's get down to talking about some NASCAR. We're going to kick it off with the Truck Series race this weekend. We were at Circuit of the Americas, as you just heard in the fact. Overall, the truck race to start with, it was a decent race. Nothing really too exciting about it. We saw Zane Smith. He pretty much dominated the entire race. Nothing really too much to say. Parker Kligerman, he really impressed me because he was able to stay up there with the big dogs like Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman, who were in the race trying to just gather data for today's race, Sunday, which is the day we're recording this. So yeah, that was really impressive. The topic to talk about with that race was that finish
around Stewart Friesen to have a shot. And, it's all three of them together.
Zane Smith on the double stage winner's gonna go to P1.
Kyle slips back to fifth. Wow. Zane Smith out front. And now Bowman getting around Friesen. Does Bowman have enough speed to catch Zane?
Cam, what did you have to think of it?
That finish was controversial for sure. In its own way. I mean, fans were butting heads for sure for like a good minute. But it was a really cool finish though.
Right. I mean,
I will say this. I don't care what anybody says. There's some controversy behind it. It's whatever. Great finish. Absolutely great finish. Overall, I thought the race was pretty good. There was actually some decent action for the Truck Series, offense, trucks drivers, but sometimes you guys can be a little boring. Besides the point though. But I definitely think later on there's a meme that I think I would want to pick for, the meme of the week, and that race had it.
Hey everyone, it's Christian. I hope you're all doing great. I wasn't able to make it on the podcast Sunday, but I want to share my thoughts about what went on this weekend at Circuit of the Americas, or COTA, depending how you say it. It was a fantastic week of racing. It was just very, very entertaining. The truck race had a crazy finish. The Cup race had a crazy finish. And the Xfinity Series was pretty decent. The truck race, I thought was pretty good. I thought Kyle Busch was going to end up winning the thing. Alex Bowman surprised me. I didn't think that he would be up in the front, but he had a chance. Sure, Friesen was up there too, but they got together, and Zane Smith got by to get the win. Now, Zane Smith, he did win stage 1 and 2, so he had a very good call.
Yeah. I will say one thing that really was bothering me, or a couple things, was all the mechanical failures and all the spinouts. It took them a while to finish the race, similar to today's race, which, again, we will get into later. And there were a lot of mechanical failures. Like we saw a favorite, Sheldon Creed. A lot of people were probably thinking he was going to win because of how well he did in the Truck Series last season there. But he had an engine failure and he couldn't run too long. We saw a lot of mechanical failures, like I mentioned, trucks just stalling, a lot of spin outs, and it seemed like a lot of tempers too, like Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman right at the end, which, talking about that finish, I mean, I didn't think it was bad. I felt like it was just Kyle had taken the corner a little wide, and he was coming out from that, and Bowman's trying to make it 3 wide in order for him to do it, and it screwed him all over, and Zane Smith, he capitalized off it. And if people want to criticize Zane Smith for, being there in the running, they must not have watched the first 2 stages because, again, Zane Smith dominated. He won both stages. He definitely deserved that win, no questions asked about it. Congratulations to Zane Smith.
Agreed.
Now let's take a look at what you guys have to say. One of you said great, one of you said good, and one of you said message okay. Wow. Okay, 33% even. Henry24257 says, lots of spins. COTA isn't meant for stock cars or trucks. Zane Smith 1 says 7 out of 10. No driver of the day. I'm definitely going to give mine to Zane Smith.
Zane Smith all the way. Absolutely.
Now, his thoughts on the finish. He also says, crazy. Anything goes on the last lap. Exactly.
Yes.
All right, now let's talk about the Xfinity race. In my opinion, this was much better than the Cup Series or Cup and Truck race. There was a lot more side-by-side action. I mean, considering all the good battles there, I can't really complain. Like, too many engine failures. We saw AJ Allmendinger. He won. Not surprising there. Glad to see him get a win. I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say about it.
Yeah, I thought that the Xfinity race surprisingly was really good. It definitely there was a lot of good battles. I mean, I could probably name 5. And I guess through from Cups to Trucks and Xfinity, I mean, there were definitely some mechanical failures during this track. So I kind of wonder like if that has to have a huge play in it, or maybe it was an off week. I mean, I don't know what that could have been, but obviously there's something to it. I mean, yeah, you may have a couple mechanical failures, but with how many they had between all 3, I mean, I definitely think there's maybe something up with it and how it runs on the track. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, congrats to AJ. Good race.
Moving on to the Xfinity race, I did pick AJ to win, and he ended up getting the dub. So I didn't get to see much of what happened, but then again, the guys shared their thoughts on what happened, and it gave me a good summary of how the race went.
Right. So now let's take a look at what you guys had to say. 3 of you said good, and none of you said the other options. Henry24257 says, great restarts, okay everywhere else, 7 out of 10. Driver of the day, Cole Custer. I don't really know who I would pick for my driver of the day. I got to look at the results really quick. Cam, if you would like to say yours.
I'm gonna give it to Cole too. Honestly, I'll give it to Cole.
Custer, all right. Let's see. Who were some drivers that did really good? AJ Allmendinger, of course, he led the most laps. Ross Chastain, I forgot about this one, which was ironic because Ross Chastain, he was doing really good in the Xfinity race. He got spun out right at the end, so he couldn't really do anything about it. He was up in the front for most of the day, and AJ Allmendinger, of course, is the road course ringer. I think I'll give it to AJ Allmendinger, but Ross Chastain should definitely be in consideration. Speaking of which, the Cup Series race. This was, in my opinion, the worst race of the weekend and probably the worst race of the season. Other than that finish, I can't, deny that finish was one of the better finishes. It was the best finish of the season so far. But talking about the race as a whole, it was just kind of boring, in my opinion. I mean, there wasn't really too much action besides the restarts. The restarts had a bunch of 5-6 wide racing, if you could call it that. There were some spin outs, especially toward the end. The first half of the race was really clean, and then towards the end, you saw cars spinning out a ton. And, there was a lot of great battles, especially with Ross Chastain and Chase Briscoe and AJ Allmendinger. Those were definitely the highlights of the race. And, that's what made it entertaining, because if Ross Chastain and Chase Briscoe and AJ Allmendinger were not battling during that race, it would definitely be a bad rating for me. I didn't really like this race too much besides the ending. Definitely the ending, again, was crazy. I didn't expect all that stuff to happen. But before I get into my full thoughts about it, Cam, what do you have to say about the race?
That ending was pretty good. I see that's the only thing that saved that race from being the worst thing ever. I mean, in full honesty, I mean, I can't tell you how many times that I probably excused the race just to do something else. I mean, it got really boring. Especially I mean, during the middle mark of the race, I was just not having fun. I almost turned it off, but I stuck through because it's well, you never know. I'm glad I stuck through because that was a great ending. But really, I mean, Mike, I don't want to say it was an understatement to say that this is the worst race of the season, but it kind of was. This race sucked.
Right.
I mean, absolutely dog doo-doo. This race was like, I don't know, I guess like I'd probably say like Stenhouse's car. A bunch of crap. Just complete bad scheme, bad race.
And now the Cup race. What a crazy race. I was so happy to see my guy Ross Chastain get the win. His first career win in the Cup Series. I was so happy, and this was my reaction to the end of that race. Roll the clip. Come on, Chastain. One more to go. You can hold him off.
No, AJ, why?
Go, cross him over.
Maybe. Wreck him, please. Ross, wreck him. Yes! Yes! Let's go! Ross wins! Let's go!
Yes! What a W, bro. What a W. That was wild. That was so crazy. As you could tell, I was really excited. All my favorite drivers have won this season, except for Eric Almirola, but he probably will get a win this year. Sierra Haas Racing has been phenomenal so far. They've turned things around. Hendrick Motorsports, I picked Chase Elliott to win. He didn't do that great, but if I'm correct, he did finish in the top 5. As y'all saw in the finish, AJ had a chance to get his second win of the weekend. Chastain pretty much dominated the race, and when AJ moved him out of the way, I'm like, oh no, there goes his chance. It is another opportunity that he could have won, and it's gone away. But he returned the favor, so that's what counts, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people in the community as a whole was very happy to see Ross get his first win, and it was just a great race. I will say there's too many cautions there at the end, sort of like what happened at Atlanta. There was a little bit too many cautions, but then again, it's road course racing. People are moving each other out of the way. There's people spinning by themselves. Joey Logano, to the ire of Cam and Mike, he ended up wrecking.
Ended up finishing pretty far back.
AJ had an incredible performance in the Cup race as well. Not only the Xfinity race, but the Cup race. He started all the way in the back, and he moved up to the front there when had a chance to get the win. He said he probably would have done the same thing, and I feel like a lot of other people would have too. He wasn't mad. He didn't say anything bad in the interviews. So driver of the day for the Cup race definitely was Chastain, but AJ also, because he started all the way in the back and moved his way up to the front.
Yeah, you're an OG if you remember that Stenhouse reference there.
Yes.
But talking about the finish, that was an insane finish. AJ Allmendinger bumping Ross Chastain out of the way. Of course, you expect it to happen. And Ross Chastain, I was so happy that he had the balls to come and, retaliate again. Well, not retaliate, but give payback to AJ, especially to try to get his first win. I was really pulling for Ross. I've been saying it. Ross Chastain is going to have a breakout season. He's going to get a win. I did not expect it to be at COTA. I think I even said in the last episode, he's close to getting a win, and I think he would have won in July. But no, I was mistaken. He won finally after so many tries and after being close so many times. Ross Chastain finally won, so congratulations to him. And it was definitely an exciting race. And for anybody that's complaining about it, Chastain did not – I don't even think he intentionally tried to dump Allmendinger. I think he was just trying to get more of the bump and run, because you didn't see him going for the quarter panel like he was trying to dump. Like we saw Matt Crafton yesterday. He clearly was trying to dump Chase Purdy.
The whole time the 61 is around.
I'm guessing Matt Crafton had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Let's see if that neon yellow 88 maybe
I
doesn't.
wasn't even watching the fight at the front of the pack. I just wanted to see the 88 punt the 61 here. That was so obvious this was coming. He was nice to him and did it in a slow corner at least, just to send the message, and didn't stick him in the wall here. But fortunately, nobody else involved.
Which, again, like I said, there was a lot of tempers flaring a little bit. Like you could see drivers getting aggressive with each other on the track and spinning each other out, whether intentional or not. But that's besides the point with the truck race. I just like to see that hard of racing. And if you want to complain about, AJ Allmendinger getting spun out, go complain about it. It's useless, because it's just hard racing. And he didn't go for the quarter panel. He didn't look like he was trying to spin him out. He looked more like he was trying to just bump him out of the way like AJ did to him. And that's what you should do. It's racing.
Absolutely. And I think that driver aggression is what we need. I mean, some of these drivers are too soft to do anything now.
Right.
And I hate to say it, but it's true. I mean, like, you look back at these old races, dude, these drivers did not care. They didn't care if you were in front of them. They were gonna bump you no matter what. They're trying to get the best advantage of him. They did not care. They didn't think about it. They didn't have a second thought. They just did it.
Right.
And a lot of these drivers are missing that action to just do. I mean, like, it's racing. You're gonna be rough. I mean, it's just like any other sport. I don't care if it's soccer. Soccer's a rough sport. Football's a rough sport. Basketball, it's a rough sport. I mean, like, they have contact in their own ways. NASCAR has its own contact. It's a part of NASCAR, and I think in order to be one of the greats, I do think you have to have aggression.
Right. Exactly, Tim. I agree with you. Let's take a look at what you guys had to say. 6 of you said great, 4 of you said good, 5 of you said mess, that's okay, and none of you said bad. Davis Hayes 2006 says that finish. Savage NASCAR, he's a part of this podcast too, but he's not here tonight. He says, Ross, let's go. And Henry 24257 says, great final lap, and Ross won. 10 out of 10. Henry, just because the final lap was great does not mean it was a 10 out of 10.
Thank you.
This race was probably a 2 out of 10 with Ross winning. No, actually, I'll be nice. 3 out of 10 with Ross winning.
No. Just because Ross won does not mean it's the hallelujah of the sport. It's a 1.5 out of 10. I'm sorry, Ross. Congrats, but you won at the worst race possible. I mean, I'm good for you, man. I'm happy for you. But, like, really, this race was garbage.
He's going to win more. Mark my words. He's going to win more.
Listen, this race was garbage, just like that opinion, Henry. I'm sorry.
Oh, I can't wait to see what he says when he comments on this video, if he does. All right, driver of the day, unanimously Ross Chastain. I think I would have to agree with this. I think Trackhouse as a whole, they looked really fast this weekend. Daniel Suarez, he qualified second. He did really, really well in the first stage, winning the first stage. But unfortunately, he got spun out. But
he restarted 20th. Now he's going to have to nurse it around the long way down. 3 miles on a flat.
He did claw his way back. I'll give Daniel Suarez props. He's been improving a lot. So maybe we could see Daniel Suarez getting a win. I could see him maybe having a great run at the Bristol Dirt Race like he did last year. He finished in the top 5, I believe, and he was running in the top 5 most of the day there. So maybe we could see another Trackhouse win.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for Daniel Suarez to win. So when he has a good old classic, I mean, absolute classic interview, and he just speaks gibberish. I'd love that, I wish they could have, like, a subtitle just for one day, just to see what he could say, and just, like, try to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, do we want to see COTA back on the schedule for next season? I mean, for the Xfinity Series, I would like to see it. It's one of those tracks like Mid-Ohio, in my opinion. But for the Cup Series, I don't really want to see it, but I don't know what they could really replace it with. Maybe they could bring it back Iowa. I don't know. We'll see what would happen with that. But, yeah, I don't really know how I feel about this track after seeing it in the day and with stock cars.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think there's going to need some improvement for sure. I don't know if teams are going to have to figure it out or what.
All right, guys, let's show you guys our pick for meme of the week. This one comes in from our good friend, the_lap_lap. He shows this one. Of course, for context, Ross Chastain, he likes to smash watermelons. This is definitely a funny meme, probably one of the best that I've seen this season.
Yeah, classic. Mike pointed it out to me, and I just died.
Now, the meme of the week. There was a lot of good memes this week. I saw a lot of funny ones. There was ones about Bubba Wallace falling off the skateboard. I made one myself. Here it is. There was also about Bubba Wallace's tire falling off, which yet again, there was some tire issues, but it wasn't as bad as the previous races. There was a lot of memes about Ross Chastain and AJ, stuff like that. But now the decision by Mike and Cam for meme of the week was kind of sus. I'm not going to lie. I don't entirely agree with. I do think it's kind of sus, but it's kind of funny. Now back to the podcast.
All right, so now let's get in our picks for this weekend's race or next weekend's race, depending on when you're watching this video, at Richmond. So first off, the Xfinity and the Cup are racing. For Xfinity, I'm going to go ahead and say Ty Gibbs.
That's a good prediction. I'm gonna go AJ, man. I'm going AJ.
AJ, okay, solid pick. And now for the Cup, I'm going to go ahead and say Denny Hamlin. He's been so dominant at Richmond the past couple of races, but he gets screwed over and he can't make it stick. So I'm definitely going to go with Denny Hamlin. We'll see if the next-gen car can help him. He finally got some stage points today, his first 10 of the season.
I'm going to be a little bit on the wild side. Not like that one pick that Christian had. I believe that was last video.
Yep.
I'm not going that far of a pick, but it's a little out there. I think Cole Custer.
Cole Custer.
Dude, I tell you what, listen, he's ran good there before.
Yeah, Xfinity. Cole Custer, yeah. It's not as bad as Timmy Hill, that's for sure, but I don't know. With this new next-gen car, anything's possible. So, I'm not going to laugh at you like I did with Christian's pick, but, oof, man, that's an interesting one right there.
I know, but listen, I will say this, though. You guys have to realize, listen, for the fans out there, too. You have to understand, if I make this prediction right, I'm going to be looked at like a god for the next week. Okay? Like, I'm going to have all the bragging rights.
Get the memes ready.
Yep.
But, all right, I think that's going to close out this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure you guys follow our socials and join the official Nasboys Fantasy League. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.